Hello everyone, I'm here to discuss to you about the meaning, the nature, and scope of ethics. So I begin my discussion with the origin of the word ethics, its etymological meaning. So when we speak of etymology, the origin of the word or where this word comes from. So the word ethics comes from the Greek word ethos, which its equivalence in English is custom or character. And the Latin equivalent for custom is mus or mores. This is where the word morality came from. So it is for this reason that the two words were being used to mean the same thing. It is where they share the same meaning. So sometimes we use this word ethics and morality interchangeably. So, but they have in my later discussions, you will see that they have the so-called distinctions, although they are all also related. So, in the simplified course pack that I have provided you, you find different meaning or definitions of ethics. Different authors use different vocabularies in terms of the definitions about ethics. So you find there about 10. Number one is that it says that ethics is the practical science of the morality of human actions. Ethics, and number two, ethics is the scientific inquiry into the principles of morality, and so on and so forth. So as you can see, they are they fundamentally have the same meaning, although uh, different articulations of the meaning of ethics. But they are there. This is what is common to all of them. Ethics is a science, no? So when we speak of science, it is a systematized body of knowledge where the data gathered are arranged and put in order. So this is also what is happened in ethics as a science. So it is not just a science, it is a philosophical science. And what does it mean? It means that in ethics, it took it takes a look at the ultimate cause and principles of reality by the use of human reason alone. So using your reason, you are trying to search for the ultimate cause. Like in the case of ethics, what is really right thing to do or the good thing to do. It's not just according to the for the own whims of intellection. Likewise, ethics is also a practical science because whatever knowledge it provides, you have to act upon it in accordance with what is applicable in our daily life or activity. So, as a result, it is not only for the sake of intellectual discourse or analysis, but it ought to be done in real situations. So, as you can see, in ethics, what matters most is what we are supposed to do or what we are ought to do. So that's it. So let's proceed to the divisions of ethics. There are two major divisions of ethics, namely general ethics and applied ethics. It is also called special ethics. So in general ethics, you are talking here about the basic truths about human acts, and from these truths, we will come up with the general principles of morality. While in applied ethics, or also called special ethics, this is where the application of the principles uh, of the general ethics, where we find the specific areas of human life and activity, which is what principles are most applicable. So to clarify further about ethics, let's talk about its material and formal object. So the material object of ethics is is what we call in ethics, the material object is the human act or the human conduct, meaning human acts, which are those acts that is done by a human person in which his rational and higher faculties of intelligence and free will are utilized. So meaning human act, that it's something that is free, something that is deliberate, meaning you are conscious and you are not forced, or you are free. There is an element of freedom, meaning you are not forced or you are not being influenced by other factors like violence or fear, that you are afraid, so that's why you do such a thing, or because of violence you do something that is morally wrong. And the formal object of ethics is morality or moral rectitude. So formal object is about whether the action is right or wrong. So that's the material and formal objects of ethics. Now, combining these two, we will now try to see the morality of human act. So morality is is actually about the quality of goodness or badness of a human act. This quality is determined by the kind of human act that is performed. Every day, we actually pass judgment on the morality of human action. For example, you will say what he did was right, or what he did was wrong, no? Or you make judgment like, uh, I think the right thing to do is this one, or I think the best thing to do is this one because this is what is morally right, no? So this shows that there is a fundamental and objective distinction of right and wrong, which we call moral in human actions. Although there are difference in opinion as to the nature of morality, like for example, there are those people who are subjective in terms of judging a particular action whether it is good or bad, no? They would say that for me the act is good, while other people would say I think the act is bad. So we have to really find way to make our understanding or concept of morality that is objective. And I believe that in our later discussions, you will realize that I think the objective type of morality are those that comes from above, meaning that comes from God, like the commandments of God. So uh, at least we know that we are all agree that there are some actions that are good and some actions that are bad. So to go deeper on the said quality of quality of good and evil, the question now is what makes good good or what makes evil evil? So that is really the concern of ethics. So ethics, being a moral philosophy, is trying to tell us that a good is an act is good when it is in agreement or in conformity with the dictates of right reason, and it is evil when it is not in conformity with the dictates of right reason. So it's really philosophical, no? When you say, what do we mean by right reason? No? What makes reason right? So we talk about this in philosophy and in particular in ethics. Reason is considered right when it is in conformity with the truth, which must be objective in its sense, no? So when we speak of good action, it should be anchored on what is really true, no? According to the truth. For us Christians, I think majority of all of us are Christians, no? It's easy for us to determine what is the truth, no? The truth that Jesus Christ bring is the foundation of what is right and what is wrong, no? When Jesus Christ said, "Love your neighbor," then do not hurt your neighbor, even if sometimes this neighbor that you encounter will really do bad things to you. Sometimes you take revenge, but that's what it means when we speak of the truth that Jesus Christ bring. What is really truth? What is right? It is according to what Jesus Christ said, because He is the way, the truth,